In 1955, the average monthly rent was $60. Adjusted for inflation, that should be about $7.50 today. The actual average rent in 2026 is $1,050. That is more than double what inflation alone would project. Housing has not just gotten more expensive, it has outrun the economy itself, but the number only tells half the story. In 1955, that $60 rent was 16 fincham of a single paycheck. Today, rent consumes 30 to 50 fincham of a paycheck and usually requires 2 incomes to cover. My grandmother paid for her home with 1 job and had money left over. That sentence would be science fiction in 2026. My grandmother spent about $85 a month feeding her family. That was roughly 23 fincham of the household income. Adjusted for inflation, that should be about $1,050 today. The actual average family grocery bill in 2026 is about $85. So technically, food is cheaper today relative to income than it was in 1955. But what the numbers do not tell you is what that $85 bought in 1955. Whole chickens, flour, butter, eggs, seasonal vegetables from local farms. Every single meal was cooked from scratch. There were no $6 protein bars, no $8 cold-pressed juices, no $15 meal kits delivered to the door. The food was simpler. It was harder to prepare, but it was real. And somehow, it was always enough. This is the one that will make your jaw drop. A standard doctor visit in 1955 cost $5. Adjusted for inflation, that should be about $62 today. The actual average cost of a doctor visit in 2026 is $250 to $300 before insurance. That is 4 to 5 times what inflation would predict. And then there is the hospital. My grandmother's 3-night stay to deliver a baby cost $59.95. Adjusted for inflation, that should be about $7.50. The actual average cost of a hospital birth in 2026 is over $1,000 before insurance. That is a 20-fold increase beyond inflation. Medicine is infinitely better today. I am grateful for that. But in 1955, healthcare felt like a neighborhood service. You walked into the doctor's office, you saw a person who knew your name, you paid $5, and you walked out. Today, healthcare is a corporate industry that can bankrupt you for getting sick. This next comparison is the one that surprised me the most, not because the prices went up, but because of what the prices tell us about how we live now. In 1955, the average household utility bill was about $15 a month. That covered electricities, water, gas, and a landline telephone. Adjusted for inflation, that should be about $188 today. The actual average household utility bill in 2026 is over $350 a month. But that is not because electricity got twice as expensive. It is because the definition of a utility changed. In 1955, a utility was something that kept your house functioning. Lights, heat, water, and a phone. Today, we pay for high-speed internet, cellular data plans, streaming services, and app subscriptions. My grandmother had 4 utility bills. I have 12. Half of them did not exist when she was alive. A brand new car in 1955 cost about $2,000. Adjusted for inflation, that should be about $25,000 today. The actual average new car price in 2026 is $47,000, nearly double what inflation alone would predict. Gas, however, is one of the few things that has tracked inflation almost perfectly. My grandmother paid 29 cents a gallon. Adjusted for inflation, that is about $3.60. The actual average in 2026 is right around $3.50. Gas is essentially the same price in real terms as it was 70 years ago. But here is the difference that the price tag does not capture. In 1955, most families had 1 car. 1. Today, many families have 2 or 3. We do not just pay more per car, we buy more of them. If you are finding these comparisons as eye-opening as I did, a quick subscribe helps me keep making them. I am working on a video right now about things my grandmother's kitchen always had that most modern kitchens are missing. I think it will surprise you. A movie ticket in 1955 cost 58 cents. Adjusted for inflation, that should be about $7.25. The actual average movie ticket in 2026 is $12.50. But here is the thing that really matters. In 1955, entertainment was mostly free. A deck of cards, a conversation on the porch, a walk in the evening, a potluck with the neighbors. The entire entertainment budget for most families was essentially $0 because they entertained themselves with each other. Today, we pay for entertainment every single month whether we use it or not. Streaming services, app subscriptions, data plans, gaming. The average American household spends over $250 a month on entertainment and media. In 1955, that category barely existed. This is the category that did not exist. My grandmother had exactly 0 monthly subscriptions, 0 streaming services, 0 app fees, 0 internet bills, and 0 smartphone plans. Her monthly cost for digital services was $0 because they did not exist. In 2026, the average household spends between $200 and $400 a month on services that were not even invented when my grandmother was raising her family. Internet, cell phones, streaming bundles, cloud storage, music subscriptions. Every single one of them is something we now consider essential that she never needed, never wanted, and never missed. And that brings me to the comparison that matters most. Not a price, not a category, but something bigger. In 1955, the average family spent about $300 a month total. Housing, food, utilities, transportation, healthcare, clothing, and entertainment, about $300. Adjusted for inflation, that $300 should be about $3,750 today. But the average American household in 2026 spends over $5,400 a month. That is $1,650 more per month than inflation alone would explain. Almost $20 a year in spending that has no equivalent in 1955. Where did that extra $20,000 go? It went to things that did not exist. Subscriptions that auto-renew, conveniences we never asked for, but now cannot imagine living without, devices that need replacing every 2 years, and services that charge us monthly for access to things my grandmother got for free from her neighbors and her own 2 hands. Prices went up. That is true. Housing and healthcare have outpaced inflation in ways that are genuinely frightening and unfair. But the deeper truth is this: we did not just get hit with higher prices. We got hit with more categories, more bills, more subscriptions, more things to pay for every single month. The 1955 household had maybe 6 monthly expenses. The 2026 household has 20 or 30. My grandmother did not have less money than I do. She had fewer things asking for it. And that is the real difference between 1955 and 2026. It is not what things cost. It is how many things there are. The path back to my grandmother's peace is not a time machine. It is a pencil, a piece of paper, and the courage to look at every single line on your monthly budget and ask one honest question: do I actually need this, or did someone convince me I do? I wrote a cookbook recently with 50 meals that each cost under $5. Every recipe in it is something my grandmother would have recognized. Simple ingredients, real food, nothing wasted. If you want it, the link is right below this video. Those are the numbers, 1955 versus 2026. Every category, every dollar, every uncomfortable truth. Which comparison shocked you the most? Was it the hospital bill, the housing, the utilities? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. In my next video, I am sharing the things that were always in my grandmother's kitchen and why most modern kitchens are worse off without them. I think you are going to love it. If you do not want to miss it, subscribe and I will see you there. If this breakdown of the past versus the present changed the way you look at your own bank account, please subscribe and like this video. We are digging through the history they tried to bury to help you build a better financial future. The next treasure trove of insights will open soon.